If you had the choice of only one type of energy source for your community, what would you choose?
What's up,
What's up, Britain?
Britain?
What's up, Britain?
What's
What's
up,
up,
Britain?
Britain?
What's up, Britain? I'm your host, James Callahan, bringing you this week's topic of the week: wind farms. Are they good? Bad? Ugly, even? Well, to those living in the East Riding of Yorkshire around the towns of Rise and Whitedale, or know friends and family that do, we've got a bit of news coming in from TurbineEnergy. Now, these guys are up to the task of finding the next best place across Yorkshire to set up wind farms in an effort to combat non-renewable energy sources. Now, it's a bit of a ways away, but they do want to hear from you. TurbineEnergy will be holding a public consultation event on the 11th of January from 2 to 4 in the afternoon, where residents of Rise, Whitedale, Great Hatfield, and Little Hatfield can voice their opinions either in person at Skirlaugh Village Hall, write in, or by going to Instagram at TurbineEnergyYorkshire_HullR to find out more details about how you can voice your opinions if you're unable to attend the event in person. The decision is really up to you. If your community really hates this idea or have got some suggestions, these guys are all ears to what you've got to say. Plus, I'll be keeping you keen listeners updated on the latest news on how TurbineEnergy are doing in the podcasts till then. And to answer my own question from the start, it's gotta be wind. We're an island nation, it's cloudy all the time, and it's a clean form of energy. So what more can you ask for? Onwards. Keir Starmer's just announced a new policy which is going to be affecting all of Greater Manchester and, curiously, the Orkney Islands. Hey, just want to say a big thanks for actually taking the time to scan my QR code and check out the rest of this podcast. I wasn't really expecting anyone to do this, so thanks for taking your time out of your day to listen to this. So, as part of this first episode special, we'll go over some of the frequently asked questions to help get the ball rolling for TurbineEnergy. Firstly, we have, why does the wind farm have to be here? Well, these giant fans are ginormous, so they need a great deal of open space to operate, obviously, and typically constructing these wind farms in rural areas like the inter-village fields have fewer issues with the council turning them down. So it's a logistics deal as well for these guys, as alongside, needing the physical space. They also have to make sure that natural habitats are not being disrupted, which is pretty hard when you're putting up such a behemoth of a structure. So they've also said since the field is close to the power grid infrastructure, it'll be easier to set up and feed back into the power grid without having to spend too much time and resources on construction. So I'd say it's a pretty win-win situation. Another question is this going to disrupt my life during the construction process? As far as their roadmap is concerned, most of the physical work is going to be done in the final 5 months of the project. So, there will be times where each power is being brought in. That will definitely cause some disruption. But you shouldn't expect any major road blockages for like more than an hour while they're bringing the parts in. And one final question, for this segment, how is the noise situation? Yeah, this one's a bit of a touchy subject because some say they hear like the most subtle, low-pitched wind whirring sounds late into the night when there's like no other sounds out there. Others say they can't hear a thing. I think that TurbineEnergy are running a simulation sometime later into the year, so you can hear what it sounds like. Honestly, I'm not quite sure yet, so I'll have to keep you guys posted on the story when I hear more from them. But I do know they are going to be simulating some sort of sound for residents to experience. Oh, and on the topic of simulations, they've got a mock-up right now, which you folks at home can check out when you've got an extra minute to spare, of what the wind farm might look like. Personally, I'd say they look quite fashionable. You can find this on their Instagram too. I have it linked at the top of the description, so you guys can check it out. Not actually, I'm only kidding. And hey, if you're looking for any work in construction and assembly, could be a chance to give a little back to the community while working on this project. Not sure how many construction enthusiasts there are in these parts, but the choice is there to have a job for the next 48 months, so it doesn't seem like a bad idea. These opportunities don't come by too often, so if you know someone that might want it, give them a nudge, and I'm sure they'd appreciate the tip. Anyways, back to the story about Keir Starmer's new policy. Starting from April 1st of 2027, a new wind redistribution policy targeted at Britain's windiest regions are being put in place to give the residents of the Orkney Islands a chance to catch their breath without it being full of wind. The Met Office say that excess wind will be redistributed through wind channels and funneled into wind turbines across Greater Manchester to help supplement their energy supply and generate more jobs for the community. Starmer stated, by shipping wind around the country to those who are most in need, we can have a more united Britain for all. Just thought I'd make the podcast a little bit more interesting to whoever's marking this, and maybe I made your day just a tiny bit brighter after that story. That, of course, was a completely fictitious story. Before we finish today's episode, I'd like to leave you with a question. What information would you feel you absolutely need to be 100% confident when forming your opinion on wind farms in your area? Not just this one. Say, next week, the council wanted to install a wind farm just a mile from your home. If you live in the city, I know it doesn't work like that, but, imagine you live out in the countryside for a moment. What would you need to know before telling your friends and family? I'll leave that with you to think on. Whether it's positive, negative, or uncertain, we'll hear them all. And you could even write your thoughts into What's Up Britain. It could possibly discuss them on, or have you on as a guest appearance for the next podcast. Coming never. Thanks for tuning in to What's Up Britain, the community-driven podcast about Britain's bustling energy. I've been your host, James Callahan, and until next time, which is never. Unless you replay this podcast again. So, see you then.